Well, Gaffer, back at home on Saturday with Swindon, the opponents obviously came up last year and a good side.
Very good. Probably in terms of the way they play is the best team I've seen this season. In terms of all the games I've watched, several. Very, very fluent, very good footballing team. Look a threat, can get goals. So yeah, listen, it's going to be a tough test, but like you just said, we're at home. We've got a very, very good home form that we want to continue and make sure that we do really.
Yeah, Anthony Grant's obviously in their side and brings a lot of experience to their midfield, and I guess a lot of players would have played with him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about him because I wasn't here when he played for the club, but he's a player that I've come across quite a lot, and unfortunately he's always seemed to play very well against my teams. He's got good experience, understands the game, so yeah, he's just one of many players they've got. I know they've got quite Bowdery at the back. I worked with him as well, a very good player. They've brought in a bit of experience with Pittman. So they've started the season strongly, and whenever you play against a team early in the season that have got promoted, they've got that momentum, they've got that confidence, so they're a dangerous opponent. But it'll be about what we do to them as opposed to the other way around, and that's how we focus always on games, especially at home. There's certain things we have to do very well, and if we do, then we'll give them a very, very tough game.
I've seen a lot of games in my time. I watched that game on Tuesday, the reserve game against Gillingham. I've never seen a one-sided 1-1.
Yeah, I was delighted with them. I really enjoyed watching it. They played the way we want to play. The intensity was there. The football was there. We knocked it about really well. We could have scored 6 or 7, 8 goals. Only ended up getting 1. Their goalkeeper played very, very well. But in terms of how we wanted to play, it was very enjoyable. Players got a game that needed it. So it keeps all the other ones and the rest of the squad up to speed. We've played young Benji there in the game against Bournemouth, and also came on against Gillingham, and he's definitely stood out. So again, he's one that could come into the squad. He's really stepped up, the boy, and I've been absolutely delighted with him. So it's always nice when a younger one comes through and thinks, okay, he might give you a bit of a problem there.
Yeah, and his performance, as you say, going forward, he does no fear whatsoever. And if you're going to play in a wing-back role or full-back role, you need to be able to do both.
Yeah, and he wants to run, which is very good in that position. And he understands it. He's got to tidy up in the last third. But you could say that about all our wing-backs at the moment, that they have to improve. And they know that. But in terms of penetrating runs, running with and without the ball, defending 1v1s, he really has improved since last season. So it'd be nice to get him involved if we can. I think maybe just not there yet in terms of, because there's others ahead of him, but I wouldn't have any hesitation. I've got to be honest, he's done that well to play.
Yeah, Idris obviously got an hour, I think, in terms of his comeback from obviously being self-isolated. Is he more or less there fitness-wise?
No, I don't think so. I think he needs I think he'll need 90 minutes. I think that's the only reason why he might not be involved on Saturday. But again, Idris gives you options. You can play on the left, the right, through the middle. Again, it's just the last bit with Idris. He does loads of good work, and in the last bit, he just might need that bit more confidence and belief, which you find with young players. But he's definitely one that I think I've said many times I've got a lot of time for, and I think he's got a real talent. So, but for him, 60 minutes to go into a game is probably too early. Certainly looking at next Tuesday, possibly getting 90 minutes into him, and then you would think, right, okay, he's ready.
I don't want to compare any of our players to Adama Traore, but someone who runs at pace, who's played in that position, obviously when he first came into the scene, his final ball was something that was letting him down. He's obviously learned to sort of slow himself down. When you're a winger or a wing back, is that the biggest challenge sometimes? Because if you're running at pace, it's very easy sometimes for the final bit to not be where you want it to be.
Well, the most important bit for any player in any position is the last third of the pitch, as an attacker or defensively as a defending. And you see a lot of wingers that run with their head down and just run up and down, and in the end, when you analyse their game, actually, what have they done? How many crosses have they got in? How many goals have they scored? How many assists? And that's how I would judge a winger or a wing back. And it's an area we need to improve on, not just Idris, but he knows where he needs to improve. We know his strengths. We have to work on his weaknesses. That's how I look at it, and certainly he's improved in the time that he's been here. He's been very, very unlucky with injuries. Last season he came into the team and played as a 10 at Portsmouth and did very well. And I could see something there, and I thought, yeah, he had the confidence then and the belief in himself that he was a real part of it. Then he gets a horrendous injury, So he was very unlucky last season because I think he was at just that point where he was ready to kick on. So he probably has to restart again and go again.
Fraser played 90, I think, on Tuesday.
Yeah.
There was a game that must have been a bonus, really.
Yeah, a little bit more than probably we intended, him and Nacy, but the way the game was, they were very comfortable, they were enjoying it, and sometimes as a manager you have to look at that as well, and so I thought we'll just give them a 90 and carry on.
Yeah, Nacy is probably now available for a team to come and play, sign him and for him to play now, and that's important in terms of what you want to do with the squad.
Yeah, I think Jason understands the situation in terms of the salary cap and how many players I can have there. He understands he needs to find a club, but from the day he's come back to us, his attitude's been outstanding. He's a good lad, and it's good to see him back playing 90 minutes again. I can play him against Fulham because the salary cap thing's not till the 16th of October. George Boyd's another one that enjoyed the game. I can play him, so perhaps a chance for clubs to come and see him.
Yeah, Ricky J. Jones, where is he?
So Ricky's got a slight knock in his leg, a similar one to he had last season. So obviously that's why he didn't play Tuesday. He's probably in doubt for Saturday.
Anyone else troubling in the injury front?
No, I think we're okay.
Flynn Clark, called up by Scotland under 19, so I've noted that Scottish accent that he's got amongst
Fantastic.
him. But fantastic for him to be recognised. Someone who's gone all the way through the academy to get to a first call up at under 19 level shows what development he's had.
Yes, I had a call from Billy Stark, who I know well, the under 19 manager, and he said he'd heard about him through whatever, and he'd watched the game against Burton in the Cup. And as soon as he watched that, he thought, I've got to get him in the squad. He phoned me, asked me about him, and I recommended him highly. Not just because it's Scotland. So I spoke to Flynn. His dad's born in Glasgow, so it's fantastic for the club. Fantastic. He deserves it. He's one that I had high hopes of, but he's probably done better than I thought. He's been very unfortunate not to be in the 18 in the last couple of games. Given what I've had on the bench or in the squad, I've had to make sure I balance it off and not just have all attackers on there, if you know what I mean. So again, another one I would have no hesitation in playing at all.
Obviously Jack is likely to be called up for the under 21s in terms of Ireland, and obviously with Flynn now I think it's one more for potential postponement, but it's great as a club to have those sort of players representing their country at whatever age level.
Yeah, it's always great for the players, the parents, the club. It's good. I mean, there is a slight difference. It has to be 6 this season.
Okay.
So there's not going to be any games called off, because if there was, it would be more of a pile up. So that was agreed. It used to be 3. Now I think this season will be the only one that it happens in. So we have to get on with it. If we get 2, 3, 4 players, the game's going to be on. We know Jack's one that will be away for international call-ups. I'm surprised he's not been called up for the full squad, never mind the under 21s. And now Flynn. So, but you can't use that as a hindrance. It's got to be a positive thing, and we have to just cope with these players that will be missing. But no, I'm delighted. I'm delighted for Flynn. He's thoroughly deserved it, and he's got a couple of games while he won't play the first game. Well, he might be involved in Thursday against England, and he'll probably start on the Sunday again. So.